Somewhere beyond the known stars, from the frequency where questions become music, prepare yourselves for the host of this transmission, the cosmic band leader, the dangerous question asker, Mexico Johnson.
Oh, shoot. They let your boy back up in this thing again. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Mexico, coast to coast, coming back at you again with another one. Yes, sir. We back up in this thing. This is Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight, episode 10. Crazy enough, we done did this thing 10 times. Oh, my boy say I'm muted. Hold on. Let me see where the sound at. Hold on. Why they doing me like this? Can you hear me now? There we go. I got the backup mic going there. You should be able to hear me now. There we go. Okay. Got that. I don't know why the main mic ain't working there. It should be, but that's what the backup is for. Appreciate you, my boy Saint, coming through. Appreciate you, G. What's good with you, though? How we feeling? How we doing tonight? Hopefully some more of the homies come through. I sent the link out so some of the other homies can join us. So hopefully we have ourselves a good little show here tonight. Man, okay. So here we go. This is our first episode of March. Crazy to think that we are already 2 months down. Out here making an AI robot work for free. Hey, me and my AI robot got a good working relationship though. We work out the compensation package later, but I appreciate my AI. This is definitely a pro AI show. I'm thankful for my AI and all the things it's helped me do. All right, so we here. It's March. Episode 10. Asking dangerous questions. Kind of thinking about like what the hook of the show is going to be. More than just like a random dude sitting in front of a space window talking. Like, what is it about this show that's really interesting that make people really want to watch? And I think that I kind of settled on that idea. Like the, is late go to bed? No, this was late night TV is about. It's late. That's what we here for. For the people who like to stay up late. You know, we here. Let's get it cracking. Appreciate you, Alicia. I'm glad you came through. But yeah, no, this is late night TV. It come on late. I was telling some of the other homies about that because he was like, man, you always come on so late. Now, I always miss you. I always miss the show because it come on so late. Like, bruh, that's the point. It's called late night TV. Definitely, you know, trying to do something in that vein versus, you know, just doing like another podcast or just another live stream. Like, no, I'm trying to bring back some of that late night energy. A lot of my favorite late night TV shows ain't really a thing no more. So shoot, that gives us some space to do our thing. And again, the hook I'm thinking about now for this thing that I really think is going to drive it forward in the next few weeks, we're talking about asking dangerous questions. You see, we got the badge now down below on the front of the desk there. We got the asking dangerous questions badge there. Again, if you're just scrolling by and you wondering like, what's going on or why are we doing this? What's this about? Hopefully that gives you a little bit more of a clue of what's this about and why we're doing it. And if we're going to get into it, episode 10's dangerous question, we might as well just hop right into it. Episode 10 is titled The End. And my question for this week is, are we live streaming the end of the world or the aftermath? I think that's a interesting framing there. And if we get into it, I'm talking about it like it's a nice dangerous question. Might sound a little dramatic, but I do think it's worth asking honestly. Are we watching the end of the world or the beginning of the next one? And before anybody panics, I'm not talking about meteors or a zombie apocalypse. I'm talking about systems. Because when you zoom out, it feels like a lot of things that used to organize our world are starting to break down. We're talking about institutions that people trusted, economic models that people depended on, and even the idea that humans are the only intelligent actors shaping the future. AI is accelerating, governments are scrambling, technology is reorganizing the rules of power faster than society can keep up. And if you listen closely, some people think we are witnessing the collapse of the old world. But there's another way to look at it. Like Sun Ra once said, it's after the end of the world. Don't you know that yet? Meaning the old world might already be over. And what we're experiencing now is the early chaotic stages of whatever comes next. Which raises tonight's dangerous question. Yo, Trent. Who's Trent? I don't know who Trent is. So if this is really the aftermath, again, are we watching the end of the old world or the beginning of a new one? We got a few folks in the chat. What you think? Let me know what you think. Are we watching the end of the world or is this the beginning of a new one? And again, think about the way Sun Ra used to frame things. Again, Sun Ra, legendary jazz artist from the 1970s and on. I think it's both. I mean, both is always a valid answer at LATDT. Not to have like a forced dichotomy. I do think it's fair to think that we could be seeing a little bit of both here. But I do lean more to the side personally that we are more or less seeing the results of what has already ended. I was watching an interesting video on YouTube talking about how the world ended in 1914, over 100 years ago. And what was going on in 1914? It's if you do your history, you know your social studies, you know that's right around the start of what was World War I. And what made that time interesting was that global conflict didn't just pop out of the air for no reason. There was people behind the scenes pulling the strings and pushing the buttons to make that happen the way it did. Because there was a very small group of people who did actually benefit from the world being at war. Around that time, you see a lot of stuff like the people who established our banking system. They were pulling a lot of those strings. What up, though, Gemini 85? What up, though? Appreciate you for coming through. And man, just to imagine, like the fix has been in for that long. Like the people who really sat down to figure this thing out and make it work the way it's working, they was sitting down and working on this stuff back in 1914. And here we are in 2026 trying to unravel it and untangle it and trying to understand it a little bit better. Chilling, fresh off work, same. I got off work a little bit ago and we locked in now. Talking about where we going with this thing. So if that's actually the case, in 1914, the fix was when they really put the fix in. And we just living with the results of that now. I do think that more accurately puts us in the aftermath of that, of those actions that were taken in 1914. And like I said in the monologue, like, is the end of the world or the chaotic beginning of a new one? I do like to think that, you know, all of the instability and uncertainty in the world right now, I do think this is the perfect on-ramp for what's going to come next, what we can really set ourselves up for next, what the next most powerful version of humanity and society and civilization is going to look like. I think now is one of the perfect times to start working on that and really lock in with that. And that's what I really want to get across here. Like, if you check out my YouTube channel is called N.O.W. And if you've been paying attention long enough, you would have caught on that N.O.W. stands for New Organized World. And that's what I'm calling this thing, where we at and where we you know, what's emerging from this. I'll call it the New Organized World. Similar to, like, you might have seen something like the N.W, where they was talking about like the conspiracy theories about like a new one world government, and that would eventually be called the New World Order. I'm thinking something similar like that, but just a little bit different, where we're talking about the N.O.W, New Organized World. That's the acronym, but of course, like, you know, just taking the short version of it, N.O.W, like, we're talking about where we at right now. Now is different because now acknowledges that the future is not real, and that the future is not a thing that you could actually ever go to. You only get right now. And the past works similarly. Like, you can't go to the past. But, here from right now, we do have the ability to project our minds either forward or backwards to think about something that's already happened, or to project forward and think about something that's going to happen next. But actually, like, where we physically get to be and where we actually get to interact with this thing, the only thing that's really real to us is now. Everything else is non-real. The future is not real. The past is not real. And all we really got, all that we can really hold on to, all that we can really place our bets on is now. I did bring myself a little joint up here today. I hope y'all don't mind. I think I am going to spark this up while we're sitting here chilling and vibing. So, if now is the name of the game, what's the rules? Now is the name of the game. What's the rules? Let me go ahead and spark it. Yeah, let's go ahead and spark it up. Go ahead. We're going to take 2 seconds. Let's go ahead and spark this thing up right now before we get into it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you, Gemini85. So, if now is the name of the game, what's the rules? I want everybody to know who can hear my voice and, pick up what I'm putting down about this thing I call the New Organized World. What I want you to know is that if you can hear my voice, you are a part of this thing. It's not something that you just get to be a passerby or a passive observer and just like sit back and watch like, ooh, they doing something crazy out there. Like, no, if you can actually hear the sound of my voice and you can understand the words I'm saying right now, then yes, you are a part of the New Organized World. And there's some responsibility that comes with that. Because again, we can't just be observers here and just watching and letting the time go past us. Oh, I appreciate you for sharing the stream. You're a real one. You're a real one. I do appreciate you sharing the stream. That helps out a lot. But if you're part of the New Organized World, it's on your shoulders to be active and to be a aware participant in this thing. We can't just sit back and let it happen to us. We got to be actually active about carving out our future and making the future the kind of future that we want to live in. It ain't just going to come to us. It's something that we got to actively create. Hey, I see my mom in the chat. What up, though? Okay. I see we meeting up in the chat. I hope we get some more people through here. So if you in the New Organized World, it's an active participation thing. It ain't a sit back and watch Mexico do all the work. No. Like, if we here, we got to know that we are actively participating in the thing and doing our part to make sure that the future that we are manifesting is the future that we want to be in. That's why I started the show talking about what was going down in 1914. Because think about it. If they was back in 1914 chopping it up and making rules, what's up with the audio? You on the TikTok. My main microphone on TikTok wasn't working right. I'm using the backup microphone on TikTok right now. You should be able to hear me all right. Can you hear me all right? Do I need to turn it up louder? So think about it. The audio is going in and out. Uh-oh. Okay, let me see. I'm going to take a quick second here to see if I can adjust the sound real quick. They said I can hear you, but there's some feedback. Let me play with it. Let me see if I can change it. Let me see. 1 second. Thank y'all for letting me know what's up instead of just sitting there watching the boy talk. Let me see. Is that any better? Can you hear me now? Sounds like reverb. I'm gonna play around with it some more. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get it better. Let me see. Thank you for sending the hearts. Why is this sound not acting right? It's just on the TikTok too. I'm pretty sure the YouTube playback is better. But let me see. I'm gonna try one more thing here. Appreciate y'all on the TikTok rocking with your boy. All right. Back to the topic. Are we live streaming the end of the world or the aftermath? Because it's crazy now that, last week's episode was talking about war and the idea that the U.S. might strike Israel. Like, here we are a week later, not Israel. The U.S. might strike Iran. U.S. and Israel combined might go strike Iran. Here we are a week later, and that has happened. The bombs are starting to fall. Both the U.S. and Israel shooting the rockets at Iran, and Iran been busting back. So it is actually happening now. And it's crazy to be in a time where, you can see in real time people on social media posting videos of bombs falling across the street. Like, you can, they shooting video, and across the street you can see a rocket hit the building and stuff. It's crazy. But again, the idea that what we are seeing is not the end, but actually the aftermath of the end. Because again, they was putting a fix in back in 1914. Here we go in 2026, so over 100 years later. And, we here dealing with it. And re-emphasizing my point about time, again, it was a group of people who was making plans over 100 years ago for us to be in this version of the future. And that's what I really want to say. If anybody listening, that's what I really want to say. Being a part of the new organized world means that we got to be active about building a future, meaning that the kind of future that we want our descendants to be living in 100 years from now, we got to actually be doing the things that make that happen right now. I was watching Billy Carson on the Killer Mike podcast. It was pretty interesting. Shout out to the boy Killer Mike. Shout out to Billy Carson. And Billy Carson was talking about how, like, the elites, they plan things out for eons at a time. Whereas, average humans, you might be planning what? Like, when I get my check on Friday, oh, I can't wait because I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Thinking about what you're going to do like a week from today. That's the vibration of the people. It's like you think about a week in advance, maybe 2 weeks in advance if you get paid every other week. And you thinking like, man, I can't wait till I get my check because I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I mean, the real architects of the future, they were sitting down and they was thinking about this stuff 100 years ago. I mean, look at the Rockefellers and the Masons. I feel like we're living in a scripted world. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The stuff that the Rockefellers and the Masons, that they was planning about 100 years ago. This is like the world that we living in is not on accident. The world that we living in is a world that was planned out to be this way. Whether you participated in the planning or not. And we can't change what got us to this point. But if we really take advantage of where we are now, I'm saying that word again, N.O.W, New Organized World. If we really taking advantage of where we are now, then yes, we need to know and be responsible for the idea that our future is in our hands, literally. Like, the kind of world that we going to be with 100 years from now is the kind of world that we decide upon right now. 100 years from now, 2100. Got Rock Nation at the bottom. That's funny. Thinking about what kind of future we really want to live in 100 years from now. I think that's definitely something that we need to get busy on. Something that we really need to think about. And an open question for the people in the chat right now. Like, if you really could think about what you would want 100 years from now to look like, well, like, what's some things that matter to you? I think, we should be definitely in a post-scarcity society by then where, we shouldn't have hunger. We shouldn't have homelessness. We shouldn't even have unemployment like that. Like, the people who want to work should be able to work. The people who don't want to work, they should be able to do that too. I'm pretty sure I won't be here 100 years from now. They'll figure it out. Well, I mean, no doubt. I mean, the time keeps going on, whether we participate in it or not. That time is going to keep going. And like I said, just like it was about 100 years ago, it was some Rockefellers and it was some Masons who was sitting around and figuring this thing out and really putting pencil to paper to figure out how that they wanted it to be. I'm proposing an open invitation to anybody that can hear the sound of my voice. We got another 100 years in front of us we need to get ready for. And if I could have something to do with it, like, I'm trying to set it up so that my descendants can be in a better position. The people who look like me in the future, they should have a better shot at success because of the decisions that I get to make right now. So, I mean, you're right. Whether we participate or not, it's going to happen. It's still going down whether we participate in it or not. But as far as us actually being here and having a chance to have a late night talk show where we could talk about it, I think it's in our best interest to take advantage of the opportunity to have something to do with the future. That's an opportunity that not everybody get a chance to take advantage of. I think we're pretty blessed and privileged to have such an opportunity to have a say so in what happens 100 years from now. And who knows what happens with the current advancements in technology and medicine. Human lifespans might be extended between now and the next couple of decades, where it used to be around 70 to 80 years, maybe 90 years if you was real healthy. But maybe the medicine improves in the next couple of decades and we get some new technological advancements, and that starts to stretch out past 120, 150 years. That when you look in the Bible, what they said, didn't they say Adam lived for over 900 years in the Bible? If I'm making that up, I apologize, but let me know. Like, I think the original human lasted a lot longer than the current human does. Oh yeah, he unk. That's super unk. What's that? Mega unk. I don't even know. By the time you get 900 years old, I don't know. I don't want to live to be 900, but I do think it'll be interesting to see in the near future what kind of updates to science and medicine we will see. Something like that. They had real food back then. That's funny. They actually had real food. Hey, my boy Joey in here too. What up, though, Joey? What's the point of living if you just wake up and go to work and go to sleep? Might as well do something productive for the future. Exactly. Why we got a chance to have a say so, and why we got a chance to make a difference in the future. And here go another layer of this that I want to talk about, because when we get into it, talking about like what's going down here and what I'm the man at, like, we asking dangerous questions. I got another dangerous question that's been on my mind, because right now we're starting to see this AI really take off. Right? Like, AI has established itself. I think most common people have some idea what AI is on some level. And now that AI has kind of established itself in the society, we're starting to see the takeoff now. And we are headed towards what some people are calling super intelligence. Right now, AIs are pretty smart, but they also kind of stupid still. They still make mistakes. They still hallucinate and make stuff up sometimes. Right now, that's what we got right now. But the AIs are developing and getting better. We are headed towards something called super intelligence. And think about that. What kind of world will we be in once we have super intelligent AI, an AI that's actually smarter than the human, where Siri not gonna be. You almost I actually activated Siri on my devices. My bad. That's funny. No, but okay. Super intelligent AI is on the horizon. That means these AI systems will actually be smarter than human beings across the board, not just on one subject or one topic or one's expertise. Like across the board, what you could expect the average. It got mine too. It's Joey. It got mine too. I ain't gonna say that word again. And once AI is that intelligent, what do we really need humans for? You know, if AI is smarter than all humans, then we don't really need humans for like decision making anymore. The best decision can be made by an AI that's smarter than me and smarter than you. So, okay, now once we give all of our levers of control and power over to these super intelligent systems that are beyond human comprehension, then the next question is like, what will humans be needed for? Will the AI get smart enough to decide that they don't need us? Will the AI get smart enough to decide that they don't want us? What if the AI gets smart enough to decide that Earth will be better off without humanity? Amazon laid off 10,000. Wow. Yeah. Thinking about that because I think I've been seeing some projections that say like there's up to like 1 million jobs that's going to be lost to AI by the end of 2026. Here we are, just 3 months into 3 months into March. Excuse me, 3 months into 2026. Happy March, everybody! This is the first week of March. Over 1 million jobs going to be lost by the end of this year, and it's not just like work jobs. Like I'm seeing that on both sides, where like AIs is getting ready to replace white collar jobs too. And then a lot of the stuff that we rely on CEOs for, that can be automated too. I think, it ain't, I don't think it's really any jobs that's going to be safe. I used to think, cause I teach marching band. I'm a music education teacher when I'm not doing Let's Agree to Disagree tonight. And when I'm working with my drumline kids, I think that's usually a good time. I'll be thinking like, I don't really think you could get an AI to automate marching band teacher yet, marching band director. I don't think it's really a way to automate marching band director just yet. But then again, if you had a super intelligent AI that was able to see deeper into patterns that humans are attracted to, like see what kind of songs we like to play and see what kind of formations we like to make on the field. If there was a super intelligent AI that was able to see these patterns, I don't know, maybe you could automate a marching band director where, the AI could automatically and intelligently decide what the repertoire of what songs we gonna play and how to write the arrangements and how to write the drill and how to teach it to the students. I've been seeing that more too with like we getting ready for education to be reformed. And if we already got AIs that's smart enough to make a lesson plan, and then an AI that's smart enough to make an instructional video and smart enough to make a quiz and smart enough to make, to do the full assessment, what do we need teachers for? What do we need school for? AI can make a whole beat and rap. I don't think it's gonna be hard for it to make a band. We there. I see what you mean by that. I see what you mean by that. We definitely in those times where yeah, if an AI can understand trap, if an AI can understand trap beats enough to be able to improvise trap beats on the fly, and it understands rap enough to just improvise, it can freestyle lyrics, and it'd be like coherent stuff that like it ain't like Kendrick Lamar or nothing, but it's like it'd be coherent. It's stuff that makes sense. It's stuff that be having lightweight punchlines to it and metaphors, and actually kind of yeah. We in 2026 got music like that. My mom was showing me one of the people that she liked to listen to on her podcast. He was making some AI music. He got some music. It sound like some legit music. Like you can push the buttons and make the AI spit it out. So if an AI could do that right now in 2026, yeah, I don't think we that far away from like a AI that could actually run its own marching band. We're not that far off. Now, I was watching this one video. This guy was talking about what would it be like if we could make honest AI? Because right now the AIs that we use are catered to human sensibilities. The AIs are supposed to talk to you in a way that make you feel good. The AIs are supposed to be flattering, and they're not supposed to say nothing that's too abrasive to your ego, or anything that's offensive to the way you think. The AIs are designed to gently push back but be reaffirming, so that you feel good when you use them, so that you keep using them. And I was watching this video about a guy who was asking like, what would happen if we had an AI that told us the truth? It was interesting because he actually like put together this self-contained system that was an AI training to tell the truth. ChatGPT is a D writer. Yeah, again, like it's like that on purpose, so you keep using it. You wouldn't keep using the AI that was mean to you and was like, you stupid and you got stupid ideas. Why, you wouldn't want to use that AI. So they don't train them to act like that. But I should find a video. I wasn't prepared to like pull it up and like show the video on stream because it was kind of a longer video. I didn't want to have to show the whole thing. But again, the guy was talking about, what would it be like if we had AI that could tell us the truth? And one of the questions that like people was asking, it was like, yeah, like what are the chances that AIs destroy humans? And the AI was the one that was designed to tell it was about 25% chance that AIs destroy humans. I would rather have one that give me the harsh reality too. This is one of the things that I'm working on. In addition to like having this show, Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight, I'm working on this like workshop where I want to have people come in and I want to talk about like different methods that I use with my AI that has led me down this path to be able to create the show and to be able to, put together all of these elements to, build my own universe here. And that is one of the things that you can prompt your AI to do. You can say, AI, I want you to tell me the truth, spare my feelings, give it to me like, tell me how you really feel without, concern for, human feelings and stuff like that. You can actually prompt your AI to talk to you that way. It takes some extra work to write these prompts in a way that makes sense to the AI that gets that point across. But that's what I'm working on because I want to do a workshop where we have this conversation about effective prompting of AI. Because now the AIs is so advanced across the board. It don't matter which AI you're using. It's just how effective can you use it? How well can you form these prompts to get the best response out of these advanced AIs? Because if you ask the AI a stupid question, it's going to give you a stupid answer. I seen videos of Grok being unhinged. Yeah. I've seen that too, actually, where you can prompt Grok to, be like, just tell me straight up, and it'll cuss you out and everything. Man, appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. We rolling. So circling back around the main question, watching all this stuff going on in the world, all the uncertainty. The AI is a smart ass sometimes. Are we live streaming the end of the world, or are we actually witnessing the aftermath? And again, I kind of want to make this argument tonight that what I see, Mexico Johnson, what I see is more like the chaotic aftermath of what was the world that ended already. There's a version of the world, that existed before, our modern technology with smartphones and television and radio and all of that. I think like that was probably like the last version of like normal life, regular life, probably around right before the radio was invented. It's been all downhill since then, because the powers that be want to have control of access to information, and having a radio is just one more way to get information out. And then that radio turned into the TV. They got to control how they get that information out. How churches make so much money. Man, we going there? Ooh. Joey said something interesting too. How these churches make so much money though. Because that's a really good point. Because I think that highlights that, like, when people do come together, like we do have access to money that can make stuff happen around us, right? Like are we getting feedback again? Dang, I don't know what's making it come in and out. Or you know what? I'm probably messing with this. I'm gonna stop messing with this because I just got one of my AirPods in, and I'm here playing with the AirPods case, opening and closing. I think that's making it the mic feedback. I'm gonna stop playing with the AirPods case. I'm just scrolling through Vine and seeing the true comedy. I was late to Vine too. That's the worst part about it. Like, I didn't really get hip to Vine until it was almost over. I'm gonna stop messing with that. I'm gonna stop messing with the case and see if that helped. I might, or you know what? I might even do this. I'm gonna put the second AirPod in. That should help out if I got both of them in. I am using the AirPods as a mic because my main microphone is not being picked up by TikTok right now. I gotta like restart the computer to fix that. For some reason, everything is working except for the main microphone through TikTok. But it is what it is. The clear playback will be available on the YouTube after this. I do apologize for that. I'll make sure to double check before I go live next week to make sure that the TikTok microphone is acting right. Because that's not the first time I've had that issue now. I got to remember that. All right. We flowing. We about 40 minutes in. Damn. It's crazy how this time be going. Sometimes I'll be feeling like, man, how am I going to talk? I feel like I don't even be knowing what to say to like fill 5 minutes. And then next thing I know, it's been 40 minutes. All right. I'm going to do a quick commercial break here and try to reset this microphone one more time. And then we're going to get into it for the night. I ain't going to keep y'all up too long. I appreciate everybody who came through tonight, though. Let's get it. Here go the quick commercial break.
In an increasingly complex world, people are finding new ways to stay balanced. Personal cloud is now part of the environment. Available everywhere, the future is already happening.
Personal Cloud helps you retrieve what matters. For access, contact your IT department. Availability subject to reality.
All right, we back up in this thing. Yeah. Thank you for sending the gifts there. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for sending the gifts there. All right. It's been a fun night. We got some good traffic coming through this week. Last week it was a little dry, but we still thugged it out. It definitely was a little bit more fun having some more y'all come through the chat this week. And we chilling. Go back to the main question. Are we live streaming the end of the world, or are we just living in the aftermath? I don't think it's the end of the world. I think there's way too much there's way too much potential here still. And I think it's way too much good. Like, I mean, it's easy to look at all of the ugly stuff that's going on in the news. And maybe I am just an optimistic person in general. You know, you might talk to somebody else who's more pessimistic about the future and they give you a whole nother kind of vibe. I'll admit, I am an optimistic person about the future. I think the transition is going to be chaotic as the last pieces of the old world fall away and the new pieces of the new world rise. I do think it's going to be chaotic. I do think it's going to be crazy. Some people it's definitely going to be hard for some people. And like they say, not everybody going to make it. But for the people who do get to get a glimpse of what the future holds, I do think we got a lot to look forward to. We got a lot to be excited about. And one more time, if we get a chance to think about what the next 100 years is going to look like and what we really want to leave behind for our descendants, I think now is a good time to really sit back and think about that and start pushing the buttons that make something different happen. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a mortal man. What you think about that, Cosmo?
Purpose is a pattern humans choose and then refuse to measure.
There you have it. I'm going to get ready to wrap this thing up for the night. I see the views trickling off. I'm getting ready to wrap it up too. I appreciate everybody who came through. I think I got my main point across. I'm going to let the theme song rock one more time and we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. Thanks everybody who came through. Let's do it. right. That's going to do it. I think we did it. Episode 10. It's in the books. I'm going to go ahead and let this episode finish processing so I can go ahead and get my AI summary and start working on my notes for next week. What shall next week bring? There's a few small little differences, little adjustments to the show. Interesting. See which ones stick. We'll see which ones we add more of. Also, if you're watching still, check out the actual clips I got on my TikTok. And I actually been starting to cross post those to the YouTube shorts. If you're watching on YouTube, check out my YouTube shorts on my channel, because that's where I'm actually starting to post some of the more fun short AI clips. I think those really add another life to the show. Because it's like you get to see the real me that's actually here, and you get to be in the chat room and interact with me. And, this is like the human version of this thing. But there's an AI version of this thing, too. And the AI version of Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight only gets crazier. So if you is here and you rocking with me, I see we got the likes up in here, too. We got the likes up over 2,500. Man, I appreciate y'all for hitting the like button. And that's what's up. If you rock with the human version of Mexico, I think you're going to enjoy the AI version too. I'm going to save some of that for next week. I ain't going to get into it now because I'm ready to wrap this up. All right. That's going to do it, y'all. Until next transmission, wherever we meet again in the universe, y'all be easy. And tune in next week for more.